All right, and we are beginning to be streaming again. Sorry about the delay. I believe I had my power outage wiped out the ability for my computer to detect my other two monitors. And that's what the issue was. So sorry about that. But should be streaming now. Oh, shucks, I forgot to do one last thing, of course. Let me mute this. There we go. Get remuted there. Looks like we're streaming on YouTube. And let me get to the control panel. And we'll be cooking with gas. Let's see, YouTube studio. And so let's see here. Well, now I know what to do, and that happens again. I'll be much quicker at it.
Hi, honey, this is Dad. I've never talked to you and you've been off the.
They can hear you here.
If you get a chance, call me back, okay?
All right. So it looks like we are streaming live. We have two concurrent
I do.
and 3 likes. And Gary Sinclair, he gave us a like, and he's a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. So now it looks like we're cooking with gas. So let me see here. Let me just start with you, Steve. I think we lost someone was in there early before you, Steve. Oh, Tom. Hey, Tom, how's it going? Hey, Tom, how's it going? What you been up to?
Oh, I did some flying today.
All right.
All right.
On the lake?
Yes.
Very good.
Seaplane, electric powered seaplane.
Very good. Just
Terrific.
a new build, or this is the oldie but goodie?
No, it's one I've had a long time.
So you stand on a boat or an island or something as you go around? What?
It's radio controlled. It's not controlled.
It's a radio controlled rowboat.
I just stand on the dock and fly it.
I bet that's fun. Until you have to go out and get it because the motor died.
Well, it's electric, so I land and then just drive it back to the dock. So
Oh, that's good.
Very good. So, Steve, have you been doing any flying? The original Steve Smith in St. Louis?
I have. Yeah, we were out yesterday, Sunday. There were, let's see, it was myself and Dan McEntee and Mark Hughes and John Garrett came out. So yeah, we got a lot of flights in. Dan was happy. We were just like going one right after another. Next person was ready. We went out and yeah, it was a good time was had by all. We were very very happy. And then the weather turned to junk today and tomorrow and the next day.
Oh man, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, rain in the forecast pretty much every day this week.
Tell me about the progress on your Vector. I know that it's suffered a crash and Sparky repaired it better than you.
Yeah, and I've been flying it. That's the only thing I'm flying. You know, I mean, yeah, it's heavy, but actually, Denny made
Small boat.
Denny made a suggestion to go to longer lines, and I did, and it bumped the RPM up, and it's doing much better. It's not trying to fall out of the air, so that gives me the confidence to try to improve the maneuvers. But I still got problems in certain areas, but I'm working on it.
Right. That's what you got to do. You know, kind of figure out what causes that problem is the rub, you know? I mean, it's like the plane is difficult to fly, and it's like, what is going on? Why do I have to white knuckle this maneuver? Why is it getting away from me? And you got to figure it out. But it's like the plane's moving 55 miles an hour, you're spinning around and you're trying to figure out what's going on while simultaneously flying the plane. It's a learning experience, and you never stop learning. I'm just happy I have
a plane that I can trust.
Mhm.
Oh,
And I
that's
don't have to
that's
worry
huge.
about it doing
Yeah.
something stupid unless I do something stupid. I mean, it's not going to fall out of the sky on me.
That is huge. Well, that's good. You
Yeah.
can trust your plane. That's the place to
Well,
be.
yeah, let's tell them the whole story, Steve. I suggested that you go to longer lines, and then I sold you the longer lines. So
Yeah, I got
yeah,
some
so I
longer,
wasn't totally noble in my efforts there. So,
no, I got some longer Spectra lines
So-
that Denny made for me, and I paid him for. And
that's
what I
it.
liked about him is he used two different colors, yellow and blue.
Yeah.
So yellow goes to the down line, and blue for the sky goes on the
Nice.
up line. So I can't hook them up backwards.
Nice. Now, what length lines are you on right now?
64 foot.
And
Pilot, pilot.
you was on what?
I was flying on 61s, and I had to do a lower RPM to get the speed down, and it would try to fall out of the air on certain maneuvers. So, yeah, Denny suggested going up to 64. I had borrowed some 64s from Sparky, tried that, boosted the RPM up, and yeah, it was great.
Good. Very good. Very good. Anybody else done any flying they'd like to share? Hey, John Paris, thanks for coming in. And Stuart Morris, thank you for coming in. Howard Rush, thank you for coming in. And Bart Kaplinski, I was thinking about you earlier today.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, I was just thinking, man, I wish you was up front and center, because you're one really good flyer. And it's a shame that you're setting back. Now, Gordon is a good flyer also. Don't mind me. No, I'm not saying that Gordon is not as good as you or not a good flyer. Gordon is also very good, but you're way back there.
Thank
So-
you. I'm closer to the door back here.
Close to the door. Very good. And let me welcome Mark Wise and Mark Gerber, Gary Sinclair, and Bob Whitley, Dennis Adamison. Thank you, guys. I apologize for the mix-up. I know we got started off late. Just a new thing I learned, how this thing can go to,
We'll just take it out of your pay.
Yeah. Tell
that's
Sparky all about it. Say, you know what? He was about half an hour late getting the show going. So make sure you don't pay him for that half an hour. So has anybody else done any flying?
I
Yeah.
tried.
Go
had a-
ahead, Dennis.
I was just gonna say, Larry and I were able to get out this morning, sneak out a little bit. Haven't been able to fly for a couple of weeks, so it felt good just to get there. And I was just flying that little Magician that I showed off here a couple of weeks ago, and just trying to tweak, So I've been flying it, only had it out a few times, and wasn't really, concentrating on air speeds or anything like that. And I put it up first time. Larry goes, "That's kind of fast." I go, "Oh, how fast?" He goes, "Oh, 4.2 seconds a lap."
Wow, that is fast.
Yeah, I said, "Well, I thought it was a little fast, but I wasn't worried about it." I started slowing it down. I got it slowed down to 5 seconds a lap, and it was still flying well, and it just lost some of its blurriness, if you know what I mean. So, but anyhow, hey, that's all part of the fun. So
Yeah. And then Bob Whitley, did you say you tried some flying or what happened?
Saturday was interesting. Went out with my new to me Oriental and Smoothie and my Vector profile, and was getting all geared up to get into some serious development. And I just couldn't get engine runs to settle down on those Brodak 40s. And we tried plugs, we tried fuel filters, took apart spray bars, cleaned them. Finally, just decided I'm going to borrow some fuel from someone else. Tried it, it ran just fine. So the maiden to me flight was actually having Ken do it. I was going to have him ring it out on the Smoothie. That didn't go so well.
Uh-oh. Let me get big. Let me see here. What do you got here? Broken line?
lead out, classic
Oh,
ARF smoothie. Up line broke. I'll show you the results.
That's too bad. I'm sorry to hear about that, Bob.
Switch cameras. Yeah, so it was kind of depressing. Let me just. So
Oh man.
there's the
oh.
wings. They're rebuildable, but
Oh
it,
yeah.
it spiked itself in the ground real good. I had to do some serious wiggling to get it out,
Hmm.
Wow.
but doesn't look like any damage to the engine. Gear ripped off, no big deal, but there's the culprit bell crank. And the tail's all loose, but I'm surprised the damage really isn't worse. So at first I thought I'd be doing the burn barrel, but I think it's rebuildable.
Yeah.
But not at the top of the list.
No. I'm
So
so sorry.
that was, the guy I bought it from, well, his next flight would have been a disaster. It took off nice and smooth, went a quarter lap and went in.
Hmm.
Ah,
Where did it break?
So I really didn't feel like doing my other ones that day. I thought I'd come home and sort out my fuel and whatnot. So I'm hoping to go out tomorrow evening and just about every evening this week if it's good.
Hey, Bob, would you show us that bell crank again?
Sure. It's just one of those SIG copies. That's not going to be going back in it.
Oh, they didn't run tubing or nothing, just the cable.
Yeah, just the cable.
Yep.
cable and a crimp.
And a crimp,
Well, I'm
yeah.
not worried about the
Yep.
crimp as much as I am the straight cable.
Yep. Now, I don't know if you guys, any of you were on that one night, it'll be about a year and a half ago when I unboxed my smoothie and started putting it together. The one I put together actually, and I looked in the wing and saw frayed lead outs right from the start. So I snipped them off right on Hangout here and replaced them and ended up replacing the entire control system. It was junk.
Hey Bob, can I see
So-
the other lead out? The one that's not connected?
Oh, I actually snipped it off so that I could get it,
Oh, okay.
bundle it up better, but
So do you think it pulled out? Do you think the crimp pulled out, or do you think what happened?
it's hard to say looking at the damage there. I guess I could compare lengths here.
Most of
Well,
the
you don't-
problems I had with that were with the crimps on the cables. They would give out after a certain amount of time split. They had the same
Yeah, it
problem
was
with the
the crimp.
Pathfinders.
It would have been the crimp because this one's still full length.
All right. Yeah.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, the ones that they're selling now are the last ones that they sold. They also sold the lead out kit too, along with it, so you could replace them.
Yeah, I'll put in one of the bell cranks that I make out of phenolic that are sort of a step design. And I use eyelets in the end of my lead outs. So that I've got a full swivel bearing on my lead outs. And they work smooth as can be. I've never had a problem. So
Yeah.
Very good. Well, hopefully some of our audience can benefit from that, especially if they have any ARFs or ARCs, that they make sure the lead outs are correct, you know.
well, actually, what we talked about was, doing what we should have done, which was a pull test. And the thing had had many flights. So, okay, we'll do one and see how it is. And we'd have done a pull test. Well, it might not have crashed. I just would have had some internal repairs to do.
I've been to contests where I've seen a pull test and that same plane crash due to a lead out or a line break. So it's not always 100%, even with the pull test.
Yeah, well, this is a good lesson on if you pick up something that you haven't built, maybe it's worth doing some surgery and checking it out.
Oh, maybe.
Once over.
Absolutely.
At the very least, cut a hole in the bottom of the wing and inspect the lead out connections in the bell crank mounting.
I just have a message for our audience. If you are not subscribed to this channel, you probably want to, in case something like this happens where I started a show and then I wasn't able to continue, so I ended the stream and came back in. If you were subscribed and if you had hit the notification bell, you would have been notified that we're up and running again. So if you're not a subscriber, you might want to subscribe and hit the notification bell and select all so that when these things happen, you'll be notified when we're back on.
Yeah. Now, the other thing interesting is with that fuel, I've been running the same gallon. That's what I'd taken to Manitoba with me. And my LA 40 ran perfectly on it. So I'm going to try my LA on it just to see if it's SIG Champion 10% nitro with 20% blended oil. And, 2 weeks prior, it had been running fine in my LA, but I'd never run a Brodac before. So I don't know, maybe it's something to do with they're more temperamental for fuel. I'll find out. But I'll be really annoyed if there's more than this 1 gallon of fuel bad, because I've got about 20 gallons of SIG.
Whoa. Whoa. And I see your hand raised, John Parrish. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can't stick around too long. I just wanted to come on and tell Dennis that Stuart got the tank that you delivered to me.
Super. That's great.
And I got to spend the weekend
Ah.
flying internationally over in Canada. I got to see Stuart fly.
Terrific.
All right.
So we've been out, had a contest over there. It was a little breezy on Saturday. Sunday was a little bit better. But it was a good time. I was hoping that Len would be here so I could congratulate him on a well-run contest, but perhaps he's still recovering from doing all the judging he did yesterday. But yeah, it was a good time.
That sounds
Hopefully
great.
Stuart
Well,
can
thanks
fill you in on the
for
details.
carrying that tank over across the board. You didn't have to declare customs on it, I hope. But,
I had it in my armpit. It was okay.
Okay.
As long as it was just your armpit.
Yeah,
That's right. Nobody looks there.
You got the tank there, Steve? I mean, Stuart, make it big so you can show this tank off. Okay.
So it's gonna fit in the Nobler, so
Nice.
Perfect.
it fits
What
just,
kind of tank is that? A Haze?
yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't have one of those. That's
These little balls, Dennis, the plugs,
Mm-hmm.
where do you get those? Are they Brodac or are they? who
No,
makes
they
them?
weren't Brodac. They were, I have absolutely no
Like Great
idea what
Plains?
they were. They might have been made by Robart or somebody like that.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah.
interesting.
We use the same thing and use rivets.
Yeah, I've been using some stuff like that now, so.
Yeah, I
A
used
really
to
short
use,
440 cap screw jammed in works too.
yeah, I
head and
used
all.
to use the 1/8 inch 440 cap screw. Jam it in head first actually, and it would retain itself. So
Or a
It was a
light
BB
bright
too.
peg,
Yeah.
a what?
a light bright peg.
Yes, I have
Oh.
those.
I've
Those are
also
nice.
heard the battleship.
Yeah, but
pegs
wait a
work
minute, then
Really
you
well
got-
too.
How do you deal with the crying kid? But
Well, my kids are
I bought these on eBay.
older, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, I might sell
Mm.
me make it big again.
A lifetime supply. Bought on
Yeah.
eBay.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have a lot of those. And Wendy told me about that when you're announcing on this video, and he said that from the center of the circle, he can see if he connected it because the translucence, the sun goes through it, he can see it.
Mhm.
So it's kind of nice that you can see if you actually have it hooked up. If you have a strange engine run, you can see if you actually forgot or not, if you have the overflow plugged up.
Can you pull one of those out? I'd like to see it. I didn't.
What are they called?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Charles, I'm gonna take off. I gotta finish up an article for Stunt News and get that in before my deadline tonight.
Thank you so much, John, for coming in. Please,
And
please
thank-
don't
Thanks, Stuart,
thanks,
for filling in
John.
on the contest. It was a good one.
Bye, John.
Bye now.
There's a light
Yeah.
bright.
Yeah, very cool.
Light bright. Oh, is that from the toy game?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And supposedly the ones from the battleship game work great too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. I've used. Yeah. Now I've gone to. They used to be Toys R Us. I think they're gone now. But I went into Toys R Us and they would sell them to you separately. I guess kids would lose them, so they had extra. They had an assortment of bags you can buy, and that's how I did it instead of buying the whole game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bought them on, I guess I bought them on eBay, unless I bought a whole game and threw the game away. But yeah, this is Wendy Ertnowski inspired.
Yeah,
And
we have a Toys for R Us still here. I should check that out and see if they do
Yeah. Yes.
What also works is a BB.
that.
Yeah. Very
Just
good.
shove a BB in the fuel tubing.
Where are you putting these at?
What's that?
Okay.
Where are you putting these at? What's they for?
Oh, and you
First time-
plug up the
Cap the
tank
overflow.
when you
Oh, the
put your
overflow.
overflow on your fuel tank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what plane am I looking at there? I see the motor there with the badass prop. Mike, what is that?
This is a Arf Nobler. There you go.
Oh,
very nice.
interesting.
Oh, there we go.
Very nice.
And it's it was built from the ground up as an electric. It never had gas in it. So it's got this Fairchild inline fashioned sort of nose. There's
Yeah.
a hatch on the top and a hatch on the bottom. And the ESC lives here.
All right.
And this is my first electric plane.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what system do you have? Are you going with as far as the timer and the ESC? What are you using?
Well, at that moment in time was about 2011. I had a Human timer, a Castle ESC, Thunder Power 4S 2800 battery. Let's see what other parts and pieces.
Motor.
But that's essentially the power system.
The motor is what.
Oh, the motor's a E-Flight 15, which I had to shove the shaft from the one side to the other because there's a Hunt G10 mount in here, so it's front mounted. It's not rear mounted.
Nice.
So the shaft on the E-Flight, and I wouldn't recommend an E-Flight. I'd recommend a Cobra or a Badass.
Hmm.
But I guess equates. It's about a 900 kV motor, so it's well matched the four cell battery. But I would recommend a 2820 /12 Cobra, which is I think about the 960 kV. I can't remember exactly.
Well, they have the Cobras are available on different KVs. You got to pick the one you want. So yeah,
Right. There's just
they,
like
they would have something in the 900s, I'm sure. So
they
yeah.
do. They do.
Have you
But
weighed,
what-
have you weighed the airplane? All
Have
of
I
a
wait?
weighed it? All,
Yeah, I think it was about 48.
well, that's not bad.
No, that's not bad. I got the scale is nearby, but the batteries are not. But
And what size prop is that? A tractor or is that a reverse prop?
I tried a reverse, and the Nobler didn't like the reverse. I couldn't get it to stop hunting. I couldn't get it to behave at all. So I went with a regular rotation. This is a 10. I'm sorry, an 11.6. When I'm done with my pattern, I have the thing set for 5 minutes and 25 seconds. And when I'm done, I get the batteries back to storage voltage in about 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
what do you weigh?
Yeah. Funny you should mention that because I'm on a campaign. I want to get down to 175 by hook or by crook. So
I was going to say you look terrific.
I wake up hungry. Oh, and I started this beard because I was looking myself in the mirror and I was sick of what I was seeing. So I got to change something. Plus, I'm lazy.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
you look good, buddy.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you
It's
do look
simple,
good.
Mike.
I was thinking you look good. I didn't know what it was. So great. So how much weight have you lost?
Yeah, I
I saw
probably
you
lost.
last year.
7 pounds so far. I was at, I
Good.
think it was 180, almost 189, and I'm down to like 183. Trying to get to 175.
Very good. I'd
Just
like to get
remember,
down.
if your food tastes good, spit it out. So
About it.
Funny. I'd like to get down to 173 too. That'd be that's almost 30 pounds away for me.
Hog heaven at 170.
Yeah. So anybody else do any flying? I see Lynn Burrell's in the house. Hey Lynn, thanks for coming in. I see Sparky's in the house. Thank you, Sparky, for coming in. Appreciate it. Anybody else do any flying?
This one was out today.
Oh, you
I'm
flew
training.
that today.
Yeah, this has been flown. I took two 2-minute flights with one battery and 2 full patterns with 2 other batteries. And I've been doing all kinds of tweaking and, different kinds of things. And I got almost all the wiggles out of it. I did a major change. I had my batteries in a ring like this.
Okay.
And so you have a piece of tubing or carbon fiber shaft, and the screw goes in like that. Of course, this is not the right size screw because it doesn't come out the other side, and it mounts to a plate inside. If you can see the two holes here,
Right.
that's where the blind nuts are. So the battery was sitting well above the center line of the wing, and it just wasn't working very well. And I thought, well, let me see what I can do about that. So it was just lucky that where this tab goes inside the plane,
right,
is the exact height of the battery if I put the battery right on the floor. Now the timer was living under the battery. So I thought, well, let me put the battery on the, what would be the, I don't know, the tank floor or the bottom plate. I'll put the battery there, and then all I needed was a bar. Well, actually, if you took this part away, what's left is this bar and this. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm not watching myself. You take this much away from it, now you got a bar that goes in the slot. This becomes the tab, and you just anchor it down, and the battery lives. Be like this. If that was the battery.
Okay. Now, did you borrow that system from Bob Hunt? It looks kind of familiar.
Did I do what?
Is that similar to Bob Hunt's system that he holds the battery?
Yeah, Bob uses. I learned this from Bob Hunt.
Okay, it looked familiar.
It's a good way to mount a battery, but it wasn't on the center. It wasn't on the center of the wing where the lead outs. The plane flies off the lead outs, and vertical CG is affected by a massive weight like a battery has a huge effect.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah.
So it can overwhelm, big wheels or a heavy landing gear or, other things. Anyway, what else? So yeah, it's getting much closer to being competitive, and we have a contest coming up this Sunday at Middlesex for classic airplanes, and that's see this hole here. I got to find an American flag sticker for this hole because that's where the push button for the Human was, but I couldn't. Now the battery lives there, so I had to put the push button up here.
Okay. Very good.
So engineered wrong the first time, but re-engineered luckily correctly. Much better. I can say correctly. It's not correct yet, but I'm just getting there.
Well, hey, maybe you can use one of those light bright pins, and it's about the right size for that hole, isn't it?
No, it's too small.
Too bad.
No,
I like the landing gear you're using too. It's different than the one that came with the ARF.
Yeah, I have no idea where I got that from, but yeah, this is a highly, I took an ARF Nobler and just tore it apart. And you guys were talking earlier about a lead out failure, and the way these planes were made, they wouldn't last 4 flights.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did a whole, don't remember exactly. I take a lot of pictures. I think the pictures of this build are somewhere on my OneDrive or something or other. My memory's getting so terrible. But anyway, I'm confident I did it right. And even my Brodak ARFs, I cut a hole in the bottom of the sheeting, and I redo the lead outs. Those barrels on that first batch of or the first vendor that Brodak used, the crimp barrels were brittle and they failed a lot. I watched Eric Viglione in Florida flying I guess it was a Cardinal, and watched this flight and saw the thing fail and saw it go in. I had a P40 fail. I fixed it, and when I fixed it, I cut the wing bottom and couple of holes in the bottom of the wing, and doctored the lead outs. So this is just not your grandpa's ARF Nobler. So
Yeah,
Right.
well, I was quite pleasantly surprised with my SV11 compared to my
oh,
Smoothie.
yeah, that was solid.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong except the push rod. With very little effort, I was able to pull the end out of the push rod, so I replaced them entirely.
Yeah,
That push rod does look suspect. You're right.
The rod ends that you got with the Brodak kits, they were like you could break them. You could break them like a toothpick.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I have one. Here it is. This is out of the first Strega that John had myself and a couple other guys, Tom Hampshire and Doug Benedetti, put it together and go over it. And then we gave it to Bob Krug, and he put a gazillion flights on it and abused the hell out of it. But this was what was inside that first Strega.
Yeah, and my SV11s, it looks like a windy crank in them, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does have a window. Yeah, I got one of those ones too. You're talking about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he made what he did at one point was he had these milled in half, and then used them in classic planes. Then towards the end, he had a groove cut in each end.
Yeah, I have one of those.
And then you'd put a screw through, and here I keep going down. You put a screw through, and then there'd be a slot here, and your lead out could be an eyelet. You'd wrap an eyelet, and the screw would retain the eyelet, and that was a nice. I don't know if I have one. I put the last one in my Corsair.
Actually, I'll show you that, what you're talking about. These are the phenolic ones I make up, and I just use an eyelet with a lead out.
Oh, you make them from phenolic?
Phenolic with a layer of 1/8" aircraft ply in between.
Oh.
JB welded. And then I use a threaded insert. I got a couple of them, the 440 threaded inserts, and I just attach the control system with that.
That's neat.
That is neat.
And all my newer planes, I'm using those RC car ball links instead of those wretched Nubro things. So
yeah, I bought some of those. I haven't used it yet, but I have some of those.
yeah, sure. The only one I'm flying with them with it right now is my Vector, but I really like it. They're so smooth. I think I might. I still got the access hatch the way I built it in on my 11, so I might change my push rods to that for rod ends also. Just put new ones in.
Cool. Anybody else done any flying they want to share?
Yeah, I did on the weekend.
Charles, I had 3 Zoom meetings.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're flying right along with all these Zoom meetings.
I am.
Zoom, Zoom,
Actually,
Zoom.
I got two things I just wanted to share with you guys real quick.
All right. And I heard you, Stuart. I'll get right back to you.
I'm sorry.
We'll have to.
One
wait
is
till-
the, I don't know what day it was. It may have been Wednesday. I can't remember. The AMA Board of Governors, or whatever you call that, they unanimously approved the World Championships. They had done it
Alright.
before.
Yay.
So as Bill Lee wrote, as what he wrote me the other day, he said, now the work begins. So I'm sure it does. And then someone, and I can't remember who, hopefully you're on here now. It was maybe a couple of weeks ago, and someone had this control line airplane where the power went through the wires. And he asked me, would I be interested in trying this? And I said, heck yeah, and it was delivered today, but there was no name on it other than mine.
I think that was Steve Maganelli
Okay, wonderful.
from San Diego.
So I'll see what this is like, and I'll get back to you guys and talk to you about it. But I did have a very good day earlier. I shot a 78. So I've been trying to shoot my age in golf, and I think by the time I do, I won't even know I did it. So, but it was a good round. So that's what I did today.
All right. Go ahead, Stuart.
Oh, you should wake Glenn up and he can give you the report.
Hey, Lynn, wake up. Do I need to call him?
That's the way he judges.
While we're waiting on his report, was anyone at the North Dakota contest? Is there Will Smith put out or not Smith? Will put out a really good video on it.
Yeah, I
Like a-
think Shug Emery did a video on it too.
Oh, sorry, it was Shug that I was thinking of. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't watched it all the way through yet, but
And Larry from Winnipeg, he got 4th place in it. I see. So showed the flag a bit. Len showing the top of his head again.
yeah, I get it. I did that a couple of weeks ago, I think, on here.
Len, wake up.
He's not even answering to the phone call. I called him. He didn't answer.
He's got his headphone on. He probably doesn't hear it.
No, yeah, it's too bad.
You might wake up in a bit.
Check down.
Yeah, we'll give him a chance.
You have Naomi's number?
No. I have her email, but I have Lynn's phone number.
Call the cops and have a wellness check.
Oh, that'd be messed up. Oh man, it'd be messed up. So
Hey,
anybody
maybe we could see what Sparky's up to.
yeah, Sparky's that plane is looking nice, Sparky.
It's coming. I kind of seized up today. I'm still working on getting a transition I got the stab taped off, but I'm still working on getting this. This is my impasse right here. What I want to do to bring the yellow back to here.
Right.
I'll get it figured out.
Yeah, I'm sure that red is even prettier than it looks on this YouTube channel.
Oh, it's really red. It's really red.
Yeah. Looks very, very good. Looks very nice.
Sure does.
Yeah. You were entertaining me with that all day while I was doing paperwork, Sparky.
Yeah. I kept putting it on, taking it off, forget it. I just shut the video off and took a nap.
Very good.
Hey, Sparky,
Yeah.
we've got a problem. This is Bart Kupinski. I try to get into your Stunthangar now, and it brings up my old email address. I can't erase it, and it won't let me in. It won't let me change. So is there any way you could take my old email out?
No. Let's see. How can you give me a call? I mean, do you know my phone number?
I do not.
I don't want to broadcast it over the internet.
Okay, you send it to me on,
I can send it to you in this chat box to Gordon right now, and it'll just be
Yeah.
here.
Okay, do that.
All
And
right.
I can write it down for him.
All right.
Then call me and I'll straighten it out right now.
okay, well, I'm not home. I'm in Salt Lake now, or Layton, Utah, so
Well, it don't matter.
Cody's looking for something to write with here.
That's all right. He doesn't broadcast it yet.
I'm
Got a
still.
crayon.
Okay, let me see here. My mouse is just not working. Right here, Gordon Delaney. Okay. And just give me a second here. I'll type in that number. Sparky.
Yeah, it's easier for, don't text me. It's easier to do it over the phone. It'll be done in 2 seconds if you call me.
I can call you, you bet. Gordy will copy the number down and I can call you.
There you go, Gordy. It should be right there in your chat. There are our chat, not the chat on YouTube, but the chat inside the Zoom. You see it, Gordon?
Well, it disappeared too soon.
No, just go down to the bottom screen, hit the chat, and it'll come back up.
I lost the picture now.
Yeah, just hover your mouse down to the bottom and all those things will reappear, and then click on the chat and it'll come up.
I lost the picture.
Well, you're still on there.
You lost the picture of the Zoom meeting?
Yeah, now I'm back on.
Okay. And then go down to the bottom and hit on the chat and you'll see it. All righty. So while they're doing that, let me go back to
I lost you again. I can't do it.
okay. Well, I'll email you. I'll email you then if that won't work here. While I'm doing that, let me see if someone else could talk about what they've been up to. Howard Rush, you've been on Circle One?
No, I haven't done anything useful for a while.
Well, that's right. And you're recovering from that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You feeling better?
I was for a while.
In the red, to the left, right there.
Let's see here.
If Gordon hits the Alt tab, he can get back to the
Oh, that's
screen.
right.
Both of you talking to me.
Try that again, Tom.
Yeah, I said if Gordon hits the Alt and the tab at the same time, he can get back to the screen he wants.
I'm looking right at it.
Alt and tab on the keyboard.
It was right there.
I'm trying to get a full screen again. Oh,
You got it?
Bart just showed it to me.
All right. Cool.
So,
Mute your microphone when he's talking to me so we don't give away any information.
Mhm.
All right. And I emailed you too, so you have a backup. So let me see here. Mark Gerber, what you been up to?
Well, tinkering around in the basement. The local flying field I use has been occupied by a soccer camp. And my alternate field, the grass is too long because it's been raining too much. And we're having weather this week, like Steve Smith was talking about, lots of rain, and just had a bad thunderstorm went rolling through here. So
Hey, Charles, seeing as he's having such a hard time, just email me Gordon's phone number and I'll call him. Or text, message me that.
All righty. I'll do that.
Oh, we got it. There we go. Hello.
Sparky, how you doing?
Mute your microphone, Gordon.
say what?
Mute your microphone.
I'll do it for him. I'll do it for him, Sparky.
Okay.
He's muted now.
All right.
You're fine. You're fine, Gordon. I already muted you. You guys,
Okay.
he doesn't have to go.
Bart,
Gordon, you're muted. Anyways, let me see, where am I at?
let me turn this down so I.
And Lynn's asleep. And let me see here. Well, I went flying today. I took my SV11 out, and
So
plane is flying pretty good.
username is Bart Kaplinski, right?
Let me mute
find
you.
it here.
I'm gonna mute you, Sparky. All right. So, anyways, went flying today with my SV11, and that plane is coming along. I actually noticed that my outboard wingtip is a little bit down when it's inverted. So I'm going to put a trim tab on it temporarily to see how much deflection needs. Then I'm going to eventually make that portion of the flap that's stationary. I'll make that movable and adjustable. But I have a contest coming up this weekend, and I'm not sure if I start that, if I'll be able to finish that with everything else that goes on in my life. So, but I've added a total of 1 ounce of nose weight to the plane from stock, and it could use a little bit more nose weight. Because when I'm doing some of my round maneuvers, they're shrinking. They're not growing, they're shrinking. So I think it needs a little bit more nose weight. And so I'm kind of excited to get back out there tomorrow and the next day. I'm going to try to fly every day up until we leave Saturday morning to go to the Knights of the Joust, which is being hosted by the Knights of the Round Circle in Whittier Narrows this weekend. So last year in advance, I took second, and Rick Green beat me out. So I'm hoping he shows up again, and I hope that I'll actually will. Looking forward to hopefully winning. Hey, Gordon, you got to unmute your mic, Gordon. I muted you. Gordon, you got to unmute your mic.
Charles, have you tried to use handle spacing to control that increase in the loops getting smaller and smaller?
No, I have not tried that yet.
You might try that.
I'm already in about 3 holes. I have it's like a Ted Fancher handle, hard point. And I'm already in about 3 holes in on either end. I mean, I could go in a little bit further, but I don't want to get any more narrow than my hand spacing. You know what I'm saying? So I can have maximum leverage. But that's something I will consider.
This close to the contest is not the time to play with that, but I learned a lot about control system geometry from Bob Whiteley. Years ago, he came and spent a weekend with me.
Wow.
And I gave him one of my airplanes, a circle burner contest. I gave him one of my airplanes to use in the contest. He said, "Can I make changes to this thing?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And he messed with the handle and he messed with the handle and he did a gazillion lazy eights. And lazy eights were apparently his favorite maneuver to sort out control system geometry. And between some bias and the spacing and the bias, he had that plane working real well for him. Well, after the contest was over and I got back into that airplane, and I grabbed that handle and flew that plane after he got home, and I couldn't believe it. It was like you just fed in some up, and you watch the plane do the 3 loops.
Wow!
It was. I haven't been able to achieve that yet, but he did it to that airplane.
Nice. Gordon, you got to unmute your mic. You're still muted, Gordon.
He doesn't know how.
Gordon, down in the lower, I don't know if you have a PC or what you're using, but down on a PC, the lower left-hand corner, you should see an icon for a microphone. It might be a line through it. Click on that. There we go. All right.
I was going to ask you, Charles, is your wing up when you're flying upright? You said your wing was down and inverted.
You know, it might be. I just can't see it because the fuselage, the way the fuselage is set up, when it's inverted, there's less fuselage, so I can see the wing easier inverted. But upright, I've been told that it's straight upright and maybe a little bit down inverted. But I saw it that it was down today.
Just close your eyes.
Sometimes you can tweak a flap to correct that.
Yeah, this is an ARF. This is an ARF, so I'm concerned.
Afraid to tweak 'em.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
So I'm just gonna put a trim tab on it temporarily, and then I will eventually, there's a portion of the flap that's stationary. So I'm just gonna cut that and put a hinge and put a horn and a wire into the wing so I can make it adjustable.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And I do have access to Greg Hill. You know Greg Hill, right?
Very well.
Greg can see a warp like no one out here in Southern California. You know, so if I was to take it to Greg Hill, he would see the warp and we could actually de-warp the plane. But I don't know if he'd have time to help me out this short notice, you know.
Didn't that wing start out with a distortion and you had to correct it when you were putting it together, Charles?
Yeah, that thing, great memory, Bob. Oh man, fantastic. Yeah, it sure did. Sure, that thing had a problem right out of the box. Had the delamination of the trailing edge, and or also it was glued. I think it was glued crooked during the manufacturing process.
Mm-hmm.
So the way it was glued, it induced a warp. Yeah.
Maybe it's still fighting you.
Maybe. Yeah. It's we did take out some of it. I mean, my friend Joe Mott and I, we wrestled with the plane and we re-glued it and improved it, but it probably still there. I forgot totally about that. That's amazing. Go ahead, Gordon.
Hey, I learned something today. You know, the Brodak Pathfinder profile, it shows it 620 square inches. The plans say 620 square inches. Mine is built off the plans and so is Bart's. And I got looking, boy, that wing looks big. So I measured it myself and it's 645 squares.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
I thought, no wonder that LA 46 is struggling.
No
It's
kidding.
okay, but it's not even close to 620.
Wow. Well, I have a Brodak Pathfinder ARC in the box, and I've been entertaining putting that together because I don't really have a really good profile that I'm happy with. I'm going to a contest this weekend. I'm probably going to fly in profile with a really questionable Cardinal, and I wish I had a better representation of profile. And so I'm thinking about the Pathfinder, but I was entertaining doing the Pathfinder electric.
Oh yeah. Roger Kramer's got one with dual cheek cals, and you cannot see any wires, no battery, nothing. It looks way cool.
I think he showed it to us on the show one time.
So
yeah, and I thought it was really neat.
Blue wings and that. And
Yeah.
You hit a button and turn it loose.
Yeah, that's a really good example. Matter of fact, I should probably I'm gonna have to get his phone number from you.
Yep, you can have it.
Get some information from him on how he did that. Because I'm actually really thinking about doing that for the Pathfinder.
What he told me is he carved a foam block.
Right.
And he put epoxy resin, laid it in fiberglass. And then when it cured, he just put some acetone and melted all the foam out of there. And now he's got two cheek cals identical.
Very thin, but very nice.
And then he's got a little slide pin that he mounts inside, and the pin sticks through the cal, and he just pulls that pin and releases the cheek cal. You know,
Nice. Yeah, I have to get
got two pins that go in this behind the spinner ring.
that is cool. Yeah, let Roger know. I'd like to get in touch with him regarding that.
Oh yeah, he's very talented.
Well, I know he's been standing next to you building some beautiful planes like those Tonys you guys did.
Yep.
At
We
the
built two of them in my shop at the same time.
Yeah. Red and a blue one, right?
Yep, mine's a red tail and his is the blue rudder.
Right. Beautiful planes. Beautiful planes.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of airplanes, and I think personally, everything summed up, they're two of the most beautiful planes I've ever seen. They're just flawless airplanes. All the detail work and camouflaging, the ink lines, all the stuff that went into those things, they are just simply gorgeous.
And I think they both got 20 points, right? At the Golden State Sun Championship.
I was up front and Roger was a half a plane behind it. But I think we both got 20 points.
And that was judged by Ray Firkins and Phil Grandison. I mean, those guys both, I think, know how to appearance judge.
Yeah,
Oh,
Phil
yeah.
came up and told me afterwards, he says, Gordy, this is way above anything I've ever seen you do. Thought it was incredible. And coming from Phil, that was a real compliment.
No doubt.
Yeah. And Ray Firkins, too.
Yes.
Those
You got
guys.
a good memory too there, Charles.
Yeah, but I couldn't remember my own stuff. I remember everybody else's, You you go up to somebody and you go, I remember this about your plane and this, that, but what's your name again?
Well, I think I might have to say goodnight. I've got to go flying real things in the morning, and it's about an 80-mile drive to where I got to go.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming in, Bob. I appreciate it.
And in case for anybody that missed it, it was Mike Lonke's birthday yesterday. So.
Oh, really? Oh,
you-
man. I wish I would have known that. Was it on Stunthanger? I didn't go on Stunthanger yesterday, so.
Well, I didn't post it on Stunthanger. I just sent him a PM, but happy birthday. But
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it was in the upcoming birthdays section there.
Oh, very, very cool. Yeah, very cool. Well, if Mike Lonke, if you're listening, happy belated birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a hell of a good guy. I sure hope it was a happy birthday for him.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Anyway, good night, all. Hopefully see you on Friday.
All right. Thank you. See you.
Take care, Bob.
I'm going to try to catch up on the chat box. I have Marcel Legrand. He says, hi, Charles. It's been a bit hard to get on. I'm not sure if it was because I had technical difficulty or not, Marcel, but glad you got into the chat. And then Philip Bailey says, like delivered. Thank you, Philip. Appreciate that. And Marcel Legrand says, hi, Gordy. How is yours and Bart's Pathfinders coming along?
Oh, who is that?
This is Marcel Legrand.
Oh, well, we got our wings, stabs, and fuselage built. Now we're just doing like final sanding. I got my hinges all in yesterday and today. And I decided I was going to go back to the geodetic ribs. So I'm adding the geodetic to my stab and elevators.
All right.
Just thought it was a little bit light and a little on the flimsy side.
What kind of hinges do you use, Gordy?
I'm using the nylon, with the made by. I used to use clets, but you can't get those. I should have ordered one more when I ordered the last batch. He says, well, if you'll order a 15 pack of a 3, I'll make another run. Well, I should have had him do a 10 or 15 bag.
Yeah.
15. And so I'm down to about, I don't know, 8 or 9, 10, but there's not enough to do a complete airplane with them. So these are a little different. They're not square like the but they only have 3 bars instead of 4.
Now, when you put them in, do you relieve do you relieve both the control surface and the other part, or do you relieve just the one to allow for to hide the barrel?
No, I just relieve the one side. And then when I glue them in, I'll glue all the elevators in, and I turn them 90 degrees, then stick them on the end of my door, and then push the hinge up to the door so they're square. And that's where I leave them until the epoxy dries, and then they're ready to go into a wing or stab.
All right, very cool. Thank you. And let me see here. Next was Edward Carlisle. He says, like sent. Thank you very much, Edward. And then Marcel Legrand says, who owns Sparky's beautiful profile Junar now?
Nobody. It's in the ground. It crashed.
Well, there you go, Marcel. Now you know what happened to it.
I crashed it in Huntersville.
So Sparky, what are you powering that airplane with?
This one,
Yes.
Tiger 60. I love my Tigers.
Oh, yeah. Boy, they grunt.
The only thing I don't like about this airplane, it's going to end up heavy. It's going to be probably 64 ounces.
How many square inches?
It's a Magnum, so I guess it's 700.
Oh. Of course, the Magnum's got kind of a thin wing, doesn't it?
Yeah, these really need to be under 60. It's at 60 ounces right now with no clear on it. So if I put a coat of spray shine on it, I know it's going to be a 4-ounce ordeal.
Right.
Everybody says it only adds an ounce, but I know better.
Yeah, an ounce per coat.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to you actually using the spray shine so we know the truth on how much that stuff weighs.
It's going to be way more than everybody says. I can tell you that right now. You have to, when you put the spray shine on, in order to get it to, I'm only going to put 2 coats on it. You put a dust coat on and let it tack up, flash off. Then you put 1 wet coat on and that's it. But I'll guarantee it, it's whatever's in that cup, whatever you spray on the airplane, that's what it weighs because nothing evaporates.
Yep.
I'm going to use the Acme, the cheap clear that everybody uses. It's 4 to 1 to 1. But how I do it, see, first thing that needs to happen with this is I have to get all this stuff, the trim put on. Then I'm going to put 2 coats of 50/50 clear on it, dope, so that I can sand it because you got to have some tooth. So I'll get some gray Scotch-Brite, put the clear on it, get the ink on it, the ink lines, Scotch-Brite it, and then add the urethane. But when I do 4 to 1 to 1, I do 4 parts of the urethane, 1 part of the catalyst, and 1 part dope thinner. And everybody said, you can't, yeah, you said you can't do that. Well, I do it all the time.
Can't do that.
Yeah, I know. Sure. Here's the theory behind this. When you clean your gun with lacquer thinner on urethane, it doesn't curdle with lacquer thinner. It doesn't, make boogers or whatever. So my theory was, and I did this in the 90s over in the body shop, was because I asked Mark, the body shop guy, I said, what happens if I put lacquer thinner in this instead of reducer? He said, I don't know, give it a try. So I did. And nothing, I don't do it because I'm not responsible. It just works for me. But so you got tooth, you got the 600 grit tooth, which it really should be more, more like 400, but I gonna gray Scotch-Brite it. Tooth for the urethane to adhere to, plus you have the dope thinner in it, so you get a semi-chemical bond. Because you surely don't, I've had this stuff peel off in sheets.
Wow.
But don't do as I do. Don't do as I say. You guys figure it out for yourself, because I don't want to be responsible for the screw ups.
Right.
Because painting is an experiment. It's a chemistry experiment.
Every time.
That's why it's suggested to get 1 product and stick with it all the way through. As John and I were talking today, I got 2 quarts of Aerogloss. I know Billy uses Aerogloss as a substrate. I'm going to use these 2 quarts up because I didn't know what to use for thinner until the other day I read the can. Duh. I'm going to use MEK as the thinner. So that's why you can't put Aerogloss over anything, because it's MEK in it instead of lacquer thinner.
Oh, wow.
It says right on the can, MEK and toluene.
Huh.
I haven't seen aero gloss for quite a while.
That's going to be an experiment because I had these 2 cans left over because I didn't have any thinner. You know, nobody has any thinner. Well, it says MEK. We'll try MEK. I was thinking of using xylene, but because you can thin epoxy with xylene. So I don't know. It's all an experiment, and this is an airplane to experiment, and I don't care much about it.
Well, don't put so much work into it then, Sparky.
Yeah, well, I don't want to fly a rag either.
It looks really nice from here.
Yeah, it sure does.
That red is I'm sure the camera doesn't do it justice. That red is fire engine red, and I've never seen this is insignia red, this stripe here. And this stripe right here is insignia red.
Right.
And I thought insignia red was really red, but next to this red, it looks orange, and this is orange. So it's in between the orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, let me get the camera in hand, and I'll give you a close up of what the difference in red is.
Yeah, please do. And Brent Williams says, "Hola, amigos."
Buenas noches. Okay.
Oh wow.
That is insignia red, and by looking at my picture here, I don't know, maybe it's my TV. This is not as red as it really is. This is fire engine red. I mean, it's red.
Huh.
Isn't that amazing? So what, that fire engine red, who makes that?
It's a mistake. I went to Wix, and they have a make offer shelf, and they had 3 gallons of this paint on there. I said, well, what is it? He said, it's red that we mixed with urethane toners, PT, some kind of finishing system. I said, well, is it going to work? He said, yeah, it's no problem because all the pigments are the same. He said, well, there'll never be any more. There was 3 gallons there. He said, make offer. I said, $25. He said, I'll take it.
Wow.
So I bought a gallon of red for $25. And this is the first airplane I've used it on.
That's almost cheating.
And if I'd have known that, I spent $250 there. You know, I was buying thinner and clear and white and different shit. And but had I known that, I'd have bought all 3 gallons.
Well, pretty color.
It sure is.
I can't tell whether it's Ferrari red, fire engine red, you know, whatever it is, it's really red.
That's pretty.
Oh,
There's not going to be any more paint mix. I'm going to see if I can get Scott to make more. It should be a color, you know.
Yeah. Sure looks pretty.
Very well done.
I don't know what I don't know how much work I'm going to put into this tail. I just put something on here and forget it, and we'll do something here in a tribal eagle or something right here and be done with it. I want to get all the painting done tomorrow so that I can go to Harbor Freight, get another 50-foot air hose, and go out my bathroom window. If I'm going to paint this in the backyard. I can't urethane this up here. Gas the whole house out. I think 100-foot will get out to the backyard from here.
it's gonna be beautiful, buddy.
Yeah, it'll be a lumber wagon, you know, like I say, it'll probably be 64 ounces. It's 60 right now. That includes a tip weight and the engine tank. I mean, this is ready to go. Everything's on it except for the clear and this little bit of trim.
That's
60 now, but it'll be 64, I'm sure.
So I have a suggestion, Sparky, from
Okay.
Brent Williams. He says, added to Wix catalog as Sparky Red.
Yeah,
There you go.
I don't think they're gonna go for that. See, Randolph has 50 colors, but I think Wix should mix this. The guy, when I went there, didn't know how to mix black paint. I had to explain to him how to do it. And this was already mixed up. This was another mistake. I mean, the red was a mistake from before, but the guy didn't know how to mix black. I said, well, where's the chart? And he showed me, showed me the book. I said, well, this is how you do it. You get the scale, you set the can on and you zero it out. You put in the, you put in the binder, you put in the vehicle, and you start adding the pigment. It says right there, so many grams, and you bring that up until the scale reads, that amount, and keep, and then shake it up. I can't believe these guys are in this kind of business and can't figure out how to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we'd like to see that all finished and looking pretty.
It'll be done. It'll probably be done the end of this week, maybe. I gotta shoot white here and then yellow, then the black, put the second stencil on for the Wix decal, black, and then the USA on the side here. And I'm gonna gold leaf the letters yet. I'll probably be doing that by Wednesday or Thursday.
It'll be pretty.
Yeah, it looks pretty already. I can't imagine when it gets done how pretty it's going to be.
I'm also gonna do in this clear, I've talked about on my live streams while I'm painting. I've got a can of gold paint from when I painted the Monado, and it was done on accident. If you look at my Monado in the sunlight, it glistens because it has gold flake, minute gold speckles over the whole thing. And that was done with an accident where I shot, when I did the gold leaf on that airplane, I used dope as the sizing. Well, I didn't get the gun clean, and there's a little screen in the bottom of the gun that I didn't get all the gold flake out of before I shot the clear. So that gold flake was accidentally embedded over the whole airplane.
Wow.
I'm going to take that can of gold paint that's been sitting for 10 years and get a long spoon for a sundae. You got a real long handle.
Right.
I'll reach down in the bottom and then pull up some of that flake out of the bottom, the pigment from the bottom.
Right.
And about the size of a dime, or maybe less than the size of a dime, I'm going to add to the urethane clear and then shake it up. And we'll see if we can't suspend it and shoot gold flake over all this too.
Wow.
Wow, you're a very adventuresome guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well.
Do you try some of this stuff on a scrap panel first?
Nope.
I used to have a car hood in the shop, and all of my experiments were on this old Mustang hood that somebody left out on the curb. Threw it in my truck and took it home.
Yeah, if I had a hood, I would, but
that thing was a work of art when I threw it away.
I have a barrel in the basement with wings and fuselages of my crashed airplanes from years past. And I use those for finishing experiments.
Yeah, it's a good idea to try a test piece before you screw up your good project, because even this nose is painted with Painter's Touch 2X. Everything else in back of this slash is Ultra Coat. Painter's Touch 2X from one batch to the next batch might not be the same chemistry, the same compatibility,
right.
the same fuel proofness. It's ridiculous. I mean, you cannot count. I mean, even on a manufacturer to properly rename something when they change the formula.
Well, you understood what I was talking about, the paint mixing and the scale, right? If you mix one pigment and miss by 1 gram, it changes the color of the paint. That's why if you get 3 gallons, if I'd have got those 3 gallons of red, all 3 gallons would be different shades. So you take all those 3 and you put them all in one and you mix it all together, then you canister, so it's all equally the same. Because from batch to batch, all it takes is 1 gram mistake and they're different colors.
Yep.
Just like blacks. Yeah, I got black and it looks black here, but all blacks are not equal. You got 9600 ppg, 9700 ppg. They're a different shade of blue, green, red. So, and it's mixed by 1 gram difference, and it's really strange, but that's the way it is.
Hmm.
You can see it if you go to the paint store, or PPG store, and say, I want to look at 9600 and 9700, and one will look brown and one will look blue, but they're both black. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's just like how many shades of white is there?
Oh,
This-
yeah. Lots
This
of
is
shades of white.
insignia white, but they got eggshell white and, you know, snow white and off white. And oh, it's ridiculous. And all it takes is 1 or 2 gram difference in the mixing of the pigment. The master of that shit unfortunately died, Bob Brookins. He knew his stuff.
Yes. Yes. Let me welcome Tryon. Hey, Tryon, thanks for coming in. What you been up to?
Just building the Saginaw.
You made any progress?
Yeah, we did.
All right.
Not a whole lot, but you know, mostly we kind of put it together, assemble, did the weight and balance on it. We pushed the motor as far back as we possibly could to get the CG correct. And that worked out. We installed a firewall today. Work in progress, but it's almost done. I mean, just we have to reinforce the firewall right now and make a box for the battery. Other than that, pretty much the plane is done.
Very good. Very good.
So, yeah, that's all, sir.
All righty. I thought for a second that Lynn Burrell was waking up. He actually moved for a second.
Guys, I'm gonna go to sleep, so.
Hey, Mike.
I'm gonna sign off and say goodnight to everyone.
Thank you for coming in, Mike. Did you come in because of my email, or did you come in through the link? Did you get the email I sent you or not?
I got the email, but I didn't have it when you were struggling to try to get the thing to work. I didn't have it at that moment. But I gave up and I went upstairs, and then I heard my phone signal me that there was an email, and I looked and it was your email. So I came back down to the shop with my computer and fired it up again, and it worked the second.
Oh, good. I was just curious. I sent a couple emails and I changed the meeting ID change. So I didn't know if I sent people to the wrong meeting ID or not. So I'm glad it worked. That's good news.
Well, there were 2 emails, and I used the one that was the most recent. So
okay, yeah,
the absolute last one that you sent, because
okay.
I wondered if maybe one was wrong.
Yeah, the first one is wrong because I had to end the stream and come back. So when I came back, it was a new meeting. I was hoping I could recapture it, but I didn't write down the meeting ID, or else I could have maybe used the same one. So hopefully I didn't alienate some other people that I sent them if they received the first email and it didn't work. I hope that didn't happen to them, but it probably did.
Well, anyway, it was fun.
Hey, thanks. Yes, it was fun. Thanks for your contribution.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi,
Michael. I think I'm going to do the same. Charles,
no problem. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you
I'm
coming.
going to drop out as well.
You're gonna go flying this week, Steve?
If the rain stops, yes.
Yeah.
Rain's in the forecast every day.
Bummer. I didn't make it Sunday. I had some other stuff to do.
Oh, yeah, we missed you.
Yeah, well, shit happens.
Yeah, we had a good time Sunday. We were just flying our butts off. All right. Good night, all.
Hey, good night.
Good night, Steve.
Right.
I guess I'm gonna bail too. I've been dozing off here during the show, unfortunately. So you guys take care, and we'll catch up to you Friday night. Okay?
No problem. I'm going to end the live stream only 15 minutes early. And how about that? I show up late because of technical difficulties, and I'm leaving early.
Hey, typical workforce.
Yeah, did you see the beginning, Sparky? Oh man,
No.
I started a show and I have 3 monitors and my computer couldn't detect the other 2 monitors, and it wouldn't work. So I had a power outage last night.
Yeah,
and
we
I think
had
it
it
just
too.
messed up my monitors. So
Hey, I got a tip for you. You know that gray screen you got behind you?
yeah,
The tan? If you get a green screen, if you get a green blanket back there and shine some lights on it, there's a thing in Zoom that you can green screen with and get a pic photo of the field or whatever, and you could be standing at the field or talking at the field.
oh wow.
So what you do is you have that green behind you. I got a green blanket that I sometimes used to put up, but I don't anymore.
Cool.
You got to shine the light on it, get a set of lights shining on there so the computer will pick it up, the camera. And then in the Zoom meeting, you'll see you got to find the green screen button, click that button, then you upload a photo from your computer or even a video. You could be having a video playing behind you and it will project that on the green screen behind you and you'll be added into the scene.
Wow. Okay, well, yeah, I got to give me a green material or something to hang on this curtain.
Maybe I'll get, I have a green loop somewhere. I don't know what I did with it, but it's a green loop. Maybe I'll do it for you as we're doing this, I'll hang it up behind me and project a green. That way you can see the change. Because it
I
looks
think
like
Tom Ramble was giving me a great example of that. Is that what you did, Tom?
make
Tom,
him,
you're muted, Tom.
make Tom big. I can't see him.
Okay.
How about your green shirt there, Charles?
Yeah.
Hey,
And
there's my car.
Yeah, there he is on a green screen.
Tom, is that a green screen?
No,
Are
you don't need a green screen. You can just select the background you want to use.
Really?
It doesn't have to be green screen.
That's parked in the wrong driveway, though. My next door neighbor, she likes fast cars. And she bought a new one this last year with the big motor and 4-speed. And she's already replaced the tires on the rear once this year.
You don't need a green screen. Direct me through this, Tom, that I don't need a green screen. How do I do it?
So on the video, there's a little arrow to the right of the video button.
Video. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, I got it.
And then you choose virtual background.
Okay.
And then once you select that, then you can select which background you want to use.
Okay, we'll use that. All right. And then how do I get into this?
So once it's got the background, then you just click out of it and it shows up in the background.
Okay, it shows
kind of
up.
like that.
I just changed my background again.
Yeah, there you go, Charles.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it's mirrored. The stunt hanger is in a mirror.
No, it looks right on this end.
Oh, that's okay. Cool.
Yeah.
How about me? What am I? Do I have my airplane behind me?
Yeah, your airplane's behind you.
Oh,
But it's the airplane you're building right now. That
right. Make it big. Make it big so I can see it. No, that ain't right. I don't see it. Let me look here. So choose background. Oh, I see. Okay, we need to, let's try video. No, that won't work. Recording stream, there we are. Let's see. How do I have a green screen. How do I select the file? With a plus?
Let me see here.
Add image, yeah. Add image. Let's see, documents, desktop. There we are. Open. Download. That's cool. I didn't know you didn't need a green screen.
Yep.
Okay, let's see what happens here.
Smells like something's burned.
Yeah. There we are, but
Stunthanger, yeah.
yeah, but it's just the background. I'm not in it.
Yeah, it's a little blurry too.
That's because it's a small file.
Oh,
Choose background. Why am I not in it, Tom?
I don't know. You should be in, if you're in the camera view. Oh, that's why, because you're not in the camera view. You have to be in view of the camera.
Okay, let's try that.
Well, turn back to the airplane quick.
Yeah. Hey, cool.
There we are.
That's cool.
That is. There you go.
Yep.
Well, you guys, I'm going to end the stream. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Appreciate that, even with the mess up I had earlier, just due to technical difficulties. I hope you have a chance to do some flying and work on your shop and come back Friday and tell us all about it. So until then, fair winds and tight lines.